Hello, my name is Kirby Junkani. I'm applying for a BA Honours in Professional Musicianship and Songwriting at BIN. This is the video showcasing my technical capabilities. In the following video I will talk about scales, triads, chords, caged theory system and extended chords to some extent, and anything else I can think of. Thank you. There are three types of scales. There is a minor scale, a major scale, and a pentatonic scale. The minor scale consists of 7 notes. The fundamental note, whichever it may be, the second note, which is a full tone above the fundamental, the third note, which is a semitone above the second, the fourth note, which is a full tone above the third, the fifth note, which is a full tone above the fourth, and the sixth note, which is a semitone above the fifth, and the seventh note, which is a full tone above the sixth. Okay. Now, here's an example of the minor scale. In E, that was the fundamental. It's the second, full tone above. Third, semitone above the second. Fourth, full tone above the third. Fifth, full tone above the fourth. Sixth, semitone above the fifth. And the seventh, which is a full tone above the sixth. And then you'd reach the octave, which would be the full scale, and you would start all over again. So here it is again. The minor scale. Now the major scale also consists of 7 notes, but it's not played the same. You start with a fundamental note. The second note is a full tone above the fundamental. The third note is a full tone above the second. The fourth note is a semitone above the third. The fifth note is a full tone above the fourth. The sixth note is a full tone above the fifth. And the seventh note is a full tone above the sixth. And the eighth note, which is reaching the octave, is just a semitone above the seventh. Now here's an example of the major scale in Mi again. Fundamental, second note, full tone above, third note, full tone above the second, the fourth note, which is a semitone above the third, fifth note, which is a full tone above the fourth, sixth note is a full tone above the fifth, seventh tone is a full tone above the sixth, and the octave, which is a semitone above the seventh, and you'd start the scale again. Minor scale. Pentatonic scale. This one, the pentatonic scale, only consists of 5 notes, and it is basically the minor scale removing the second note and removing the sixth note. So the first note, fundamental note, the second note, which is a full tone and a semitone above the fundamental, the third note, which is a full tone above the second, the fourth note, which is a full tone above the third, the fifth note, which is a full tone and a semitone above the fourth, and a full tone again to reach the octave, and that starts the scale over again. So here is the minor scale in the pentatonic scale, I'm sorry, in E. Fundamental, second note, which is a full tone and a semitone above the fundamental, third note, which is a full tone above the second, fourth note, which is a full tone above the third, fifth note, which is a full tone and a semitone above the fourth, and reach the octave with another full tone above the fifth. A chord is 3 or more notes played at the same time. Now, forming these chords are triads. You can have major triads and minor triads. A triad consists of the first note of a scale, the third note and the fifth note. Now, for example, if we were to take the G or the Sol major scale to form a triad, you'd take the G note, which is the first note, the third note, which is a B, and the fifth note, which is a D. And you play them all together and you've got the major, G major. So the first note, the fundamental note, would be G. Your third note would be the B, second fret on the A string, and the D is, which is the fifth note, is the open fourth string, open D string. And with that you have G major. Now the minor scale is, the minor triad is the same. You take the first note, the third note and the fifth note to form the triad. And for example, let's do the A minor triad. You take the first note, you take the third note, which is C, and you take the fifth note, which is A, to form that. Yeah. The minor triad. The minor triad, just like the major triad, consists of three notes: the first note, the third note and the fifth note. For example, if you were to play the A minor triad, you take the first note, A, the third note, which is a C, and the fifth note, which is an E, and that forms the A minor triad, forming the A minor chord. So with this we have here the open fifth string, which is the A, the first fret on the B string, which is the C, and the second fret on the D string, which is the A, which is the E, sorry. Play them all together. The A minor triad. Okay. The extended chords. Extended chords such as the 7th, the 9th, the 11th and 13th chord consist of taking the major triads for whichever chord and adding the 7th note of the minor scale to form these new chords. For example, if we were to take the E, if we were working E, we'd take the E major, which is E, G sharp and B, the major triad, and add the 7th note of the minor scale, and for E is D. So to form the E7 chord, we basically take our ring finger off the second fret of the D string, allowing it to be open, and there we have a E7 triad. And the E7 chord. Now the E9 chord and the E9 chord, sorry, consists of the E7 triad added the 9th note and the E minor scale, which because we start again when you get to number 8 in the octave, it would be the number that would actually be number 2. So you have the F sharp and add that onto the E7 triad. Let's go all the way down here to the 7th fret of the A string to form E9. E, G sharp, A7, so the 7th fret on the A string is the E, the 6th fret on the D string is the G sharp, the 7th fret on the G string is the D, and the 7th fret on the B string is the F sharp, forming the E9 triad and the E9 chord. Now the E11 chord is the 9th, the E9 triad added the 11th note of the E string, of the E minor scale, I'm sorry. So that would be La or A. And for the E13th, you would consist of taking the E11th triad and adding the 13th note, which is C in this case. Extended chords. The Cage chord system theory, mabob, consists of caged, as in being C-A-G-E-D, is moving these chords, the C chord, the A chord, G chord, the E chord, and the D chord, up and down the fretboard into different positions, making them form new chords. For example, if we were to take the D chord and move it up 2 frets, it would become an E chord. So here we go. I suppose to prove that I know this theory, I'll play each chord C, A, G, E, D in all the respective positions, forming these chords. So C. A. G. E. And now, finally, last but not least, D.